Okay, here we go. We will, there we go. All right, let me get over here. Hello. I'm going to just sort of introduce, because a lot of people are going to be watching the replay. So I'm going to start at the beginning, which is introducing myself. And most of you know me, I'm Mimi Blankenship, and Matt and I have 4 adult kids, and I have been active with Juice Plus now for 20 years. We've been taking it for 22. And Juice Plus got into the gut health side of health. And I love it because I love baking. I've been a baker since I was 7 years old. I was thinking about that this morning. How long have I been baking? Not necessarily healthy baking, but fun. So the sourdough is really another way to address our gut health. And I just love this mission we're on with Juice Plus because we're really trying to help more families uh, realize there's a deficiency in our diet and to help not only adults, but the kids in our future. So we really want to help people to get on the right track, making small incremental changes and just together impacting more lives. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you how to make a really fun, festive sourdough called gingerbread sourdough. And I have another one that's just a plain sourdough, so I can show you that too. The process is pretty similar. There is a day 1 and a day 2. So I'm going to show you the steps and the phases because I actually have some that is at day 1, which I'm going to make here right now. And then day 2 will be the one that I made yesterday. And you can see that second step. And it's really a lot of fun. I don't want to spoil it. So that's all I'm going to say about that. So let's get started. Okay. So to start out, this is kind of a medium sized aluminum bowl. You can use glass. It really doesn't matter what you use. But you do want to use an active bubbly starter. So I fed this one last night and this morning in my little jar, and I hope you can see that a little bit. It's bubbly, and it's a third to a half cup. So I just eyeball it and I pour it in here. You can see it's a little thick, and that makes me happy because that's the consistency we want. It kind of looks like pancake batter. Okay, so then the next thing I'm going to add, I do have the recipe, and I will send that to you if you want it. Is we're going to do 2 cups. Hold on, let me make sure because the regular recipe does that. This one says 1 1/4 cup of water, so I'm going to do a little bit less water. So I'm going to leave 3/4 in there. Okay, and then I'm going to add the salt. The recipe says to do the salt later, but I don't see a problem with adding it right away. And actually, instead of a tablespoon, the regular recipe, this one is going to be, oh, no, it is. Never mind. Um, I'm going to do a tablespoon. This is just coarse ground sea salt. You can do fine ground, it doesn't matter. And then we're going to add in here a 1/3 cup of molasses, which I have right here. I'm going to grab my little scraper. This one is super thick. Look at this. I just bought a new bottle of molasses, and I want you to see how thick this is. I don't know that it matters if it's thick or not, but there we go. I'm just dumping that molasses in there, trying to scrape it all out. It smells so good. It makes me think about Christmas to smell. I don't know about you, but I love those chewy molasses cookies. They're so good. And this is a 1/4 cup of light brown sugar. So just that's not much when you think of a whole loaf of bread. So that is that goes in there. And then it's a full tablespoon of ground ginger. So, and Matt, if you see other people come in, you can admit them if you see that button. So I'm gonna just pour a whole tablespoon of ginger in here. It's kind of stuck. And there's smells so good too. Fresh ginger is even better, but this
I don't know where I'm seeing, but
okay. It'll pop up at the top if you do. You get just a little bit more in here. There we go. There's a tablespoon of ginger. And let me check my recipe. Okay, so we're gonna put cinnamon, we're use cinnamon, but that's for laminating. And that's if you're new to making sourdough bread, that's a process where you work it into the dough. So now I'm just gonna mix this up a little bit because there's so many. Can you see pretty well?
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Well, I can close in on it.
that's pretty okay. That's pretty much the liquid. It's not well mixed in. That ginger's a little bit bumpy, lumpy. I'm going to continue. See, now it's getting darker because the molasses is mixing in.
What temperature water?
My water is, that's a good question. It's room temperature and it is filtered water. You can use bottled water, just don't use tap water because most city water has some chlorine added, right, Matt? You were in the water business.
Probably chloramines, but same stuff.
It kills the wild bacteria, which we really, that's our secret sauce. Okay, now I am going to add the flour next, and this is my favorite brand. There are other brands, but personally, I go for King Arthur. The bread flour is what this recipe calls for. There are recipes that call for the all-purpose. Either one is great, and you don't have to worry about that. But I'm following this recipe, so I am going to use bread flour. And this is 3.5 cups. Typically, when I teach sourdough baking, we use 4 cups. I need a scraper. So I don't it's all about touch and feel. You know, when you look at it, how does it look? Does it look like the right consistency? So I hope you guys are going to enjoy making this for your family. And you know what? You can also get, I got on Amazon these mini silicone baking pans. You could make, I think, 3 out of one recipe, and you could gift them to people. People love homemade gifts for Christmas, and makes family and friends really happy because it's something that they can enjoy and serve to their family and friends too. All right, there's my 3, and it calls for a half, so I'm just going to use this 1/4 cup, and I'm going to scrape that off. A 1/4 cup here. I'm not going to put the other 1/4 cup in because you know what? I'm going to mix it and make sure I like the consistency. And here's my Dutch whisk. If you don't have one, they're a treat. I usually at my workshops have them for prizes because they mix so well and so smoothly and quickly. And that's fun when it mixes up quickly. So see that we're already getting there. And I like this consistency, so I'm actually not gonna add that other 1/4 cup of flour. I think this consistency is really good. You see how it's sticking here, and it's not too dry, not too wet. I'm afraid if I put that other 1/4 cup in there, it might make it a little on the dry side. It's kind of a touch and feel process with sourdough. Would you agree with that? And you guys are free to unmute and say anything if you want, if you have a comment or a question. And we can talk at the end too, but as I'm going, I am fine if you want to say anything. Okay, look at that. That is pretty much what we wanted. And you see a little bit of flour, and we're going to do stretch and fold, but I'm wanting you to see, it's sticky. This dough is sticky, but it will start to get a sheen to it. Sitting here in the bowl, it'll start to look more smooth. All right, so I'm going to set this aside, and that's day 1. I'm going to rinse my hands off real quick. And that is what you do with day 1. Now, the next steps, which I will show you, are I should cover it, but I think it's fine. I'm just going to leave it there. The next steps are that it sits there for about, I think the recipe says an hour. And then you come back in and you do 3 stretch and folds. And so I'll be able to show you my stretch and fold. You may already know how, but I'm going to show you. Okay. So now here comes a fun step. I'm going to show you. This is day 2. So I made this one yesterday. I don't know if you can tell, but see how it's very smooth. It's been in the fridge overnight, and it's still puffy. It's very puffy. what I want to do is put some flour down actually, because I'm going to laminate it. And I want flour because I want it to have a little bit of a white dusting. It's going to kind of look like snow on the top. So here's a little bit of flour. We move that around here, making a mess. And now I'm going to dump it's cold. The bowl's cold. The dough's cold. It's been in the fridge. All right, I'm going to dump this one in. Now this one's, gone through the stretch and fold. This is day 2. Day 2 of when you actually bake. All right. So here's my day 2 dough. It's a very happy bowl. If you have a Banneton bowl, you could have put it in instead of a glass bowl. You could use a Banneton bowl, which I often do. I didn't use it today. If you don't know what a Banneton bowl is, go on Amazon and get one. I can show you mine. So I'm just laminating it. That's what I'm doing here is laminating it. Now, one of the things that I have not done yet is add some cinnamon. And this is part of the recipe, but honestly, you could do it. I'm using Ceylon cinnamon. It's the good stuff. And I'm just going to sprinkle it over here. And again, I'm going to laminate because it's going to bring in some really good flavors. I'm not going to stretch and fold. I'm just kind of working it in. I don't want to give it too much exercise right now. I want it to be pretty happy. You see how I'm forming it into a nice boule? That's what we want. Okay, and now I'm going to let it sit there for just a minute, just a very brief minute, because I want to show you how I'm going to score it, because I think that's the fun part. Let me show you this loaf that I made previously. And I did these Christmas trees on top. So it's fun. And you can see that's what the flour has done, is made it look like snow on the trees. There's a lot of designs you can do, but let me get my razor blade. Sometimes I use a knife, but I'm going to use a razor blade. You can use dental floss too. Dental floss actually is a good choice. I'm going to score it by like I'm cutting a pie. Or maybe I'm a surgeon. That's kind of gross. Okay, and then I guess I never could be a surgeon. There is a stand this comes with, but mine's not working. It's probably a lot safer to do that than just having a razor blade around. Okay, and see how having it overnight in the fridge has given it this, just don't cut myself, right? Has given it kind of a thick surface. Okay, so now I'm cut that one a little bit more. Okay, so now we've got our little sections. And I'm glad to be done with the razor blade, honestly. I need to do it different. Now I'm going to use a pair of kitchen scissors. And I'm going to make little Christmas trees. And this is all you do. You snip the edges. And what happens is it'll expand, of course, when it bakes. And this is really not a lot of effort. It's just a festive thing to do. I've seen ornaments. I'm ambidextrous, so I just switched hands. I hope that doesn't bother anybody. Let me turn the board here. Get down there. So if you wanted to do ornaments, you could be creative on your own and come up with, actually, if you go on Instagram, you can find, and Facebook also has groups that are sourdough lovers or sourdough bakers or whatever. Research that and you can find all kinds of fun designs. And if you wanted to do the mini pan and do it for gifts, you could do like one Christmas tree on the top. I don't think you could get this many because this is a full loaf. And I think this loaf would actually make 3 loaves total. So there you go.
Loaves.
3 minis. Yeah. Let me show you what I'm talking about. That might be helpful. Um, these are mini silicone pans, and I think it would actually this recipe would make 3 of these, and you could just do 1 tree on top if you want. Okay, so then it rests and goes into a hot Dutch oven. The recipe says 500 degrees and then turn it down to 450. And you bake it with the lid on and then the lid off. So, and you see, show you the inside. It's almost the color of a rye bread. It doesn't taste like rye. It tastes like gingerbread, but that is it's so delicious. And I really am glad I gave this recipe a shot, and I hope you will too. It's really, really good. Okay, so now what I want to jump back into is I want to go over a little bit with you about what Juice Plus is doing this time of year and about gut health, because that's always part of my workshops is to share the latest gut health information. So I've got my little display over here of Juice Plus, and what I want to tell you about is this is a new product called Super Biome. This is a probiotic, and this is the prebiotic powder which you drink. You can just chase it with this. Take your probiotic, chase it with your prebiotic. It's really, really effective for gut health. I have a personal story that I'm going to share with you towards the end. There's a sale, if you will, a special offer going on for all 4 capsules. Here you can see there they are. All 4 capsules in order, you get a free box of Luminate, which is 15 sticks of the great, delicious pick me up productivity drink, if you will, focus. It's filled with ashwagandha, rhodiola, sage, a coffee berry, several things that help you to focus. And then superfood. It's also got a special offer if you want to do superfood, which is what you add to your water. Then you get a free water bottle and a box of Luminate. Or you can do the gummies, which everyone loves the gummies. And by the way, you can still do the family program and get the free fruit and vegetable gummies along with that. Okay, so now I want to tell you like some very, very recent science that's just come along that we're pretty excited about the microbiome and what gut health new science there is out there. So you've probably heard there's a gut brain connection, right? I mean, most people have heard that. And if you haven't, I wanted to explain it to you. We have a nerve, it's the largest nerve in our body called the vagus nerve. It's back in the back of our neck. It connects our brain to our gut. And the newest studies are saying possibly all the thinking's done in our gut and it's telling our brain what to think. And that's really revolutionary to think of it that way. So that nerve is so powerful it could stop your heart, and it won't, but it could. It rules the body, so to speak. It does regulate our heart rate. And if you've ever said, I have a gut feeling, you're not off base, because a gut feeling, a lot of times our feelings and emotions come from our gut. And that is important. It's the upshoot of that is we need to take care of our gut. We need to have healthy guts. And sometimes, like me, you might be saying, well, I think I'm pretty healthy. My gut's pretty healthy. I'm eating a lot of fruits and veggies. I'm doing these things. And I tried the super biome. It came out September 30th. Within 3 weeks, I noticed less sciatica, hip pain that I've had when I sleep. And then after 4 weeks, I will say that it's not gone, but it's about 90% gone. It's not waking me up at night the way it was. I'd wake up and have to turn over. A lot of people have noticed digestive issues are better. I have a friend that has seen her eczema get more than 50% better. And, just if we're dealing with any anxiety or depression, a lot of people are dealing with that, especially this time of year, that that is a good way to start. And you can just get the probiotic or just the prebiotic, but I recommend the duo because that is what has made a big difference for me. Okay, what is your microbiome? What is it? Well, actually, it is what our gut, our body has several microbiomes. Our mouth has a microbiome, our gut has a microbiome. But what our microbiome is made up of is what we consume, what we eat, what we breathe. In families, they share a microbiome. Even our pets are part of our microbiome, and even half of our stool is our microbiome. So it's amazing. And what do you think is so important about it? Well, in our gut, most of our neurotransmitters are made in our gut, which means that influences our brain. So we also have another good thing made in our gut, and it's our immune system. So the immune system is so important, obviously, because we want to stay well and fend off disease and getting sick. But it also has a process of detoxification. There's a gut brain axis that goes both ways. One message goes to our brain, and one message goes from our brain to our gut. So we really want our immune system strong, and we want that bidirectional gut brain axis strong as well. You've heard of leaky gut. I bet you have. Leaky gut is when our gut lining is breaking down and fluid is leaking out of the gut. Nobody wants that, but you can heal that. Well, now they're saying that we can also have leaky brain, and we don't want that. That blood brain barrier needs to be strong and able to fight off anything that toxins that get in our body. So, this is another good thing about having a strong gut. So, what is good nutrition for our gut specifically? Fiber. Fiber is huge. And why? Because that's what is a prebiotic is. It's fiber that feeds our good bacteria. And the microbes or the good bacteria are always looking to eat. And if they don't eat the good stuff, then they're going to eat the bad stuff, which means they'll die off. And the bad bacteria will get bigger and more prolific. So we want lots of fiber, and we want resistant starches and fermented foods. So here we are back to sourdough. Fermented foods are like kefir, um, uh, kimchi, sauerkraut, and sourdough, because sourdough has that wild bacteria I talked about. And I love that because we can be eating some delicious bread and we're feeding the good bacteria in our gut. And what else? What else feeds our gut? Well, polyphenols. If you haven't heard that term, it's the dark, rich colors of fruits and vegetables, nuts, cocoa, red wine. There are a lot of polyphenols out there that are actually very good for us, and they all break down to SCFAs, which is short chain fatty acids. And polyphenols are too large as well, so they have to get broken down in our digestive system, all about having that healthy digestive system. And prebiotics, again, are the food. Probiotics are the good microbes. And we want to have lots of prebiotics, fiber, and like that prebiotic powder over there. It's good. It's good food for our good bacteria. And then there's another thing called postbiotics. And what postbiotics are is the leftovers after our good bacteria is fed, and that produces vitamin B, vitamin K, some amino acids, antimicrobial peptides, and they all slow down the growth of bad bacteria. It's fascinating how our gut, how our body, how our whole system is wired to help us be healthy. And you know what? I love this part. It affects our moods. So when our gut bacteria is in a good place, we have a happier mood. And even the GLP-1 is actually, there's a natural GLP-1. I mean, I know everyone's heard of um, the the pills, the medication GLP-1, but we can actually produce more GLP-1, which status means our appetite is satisfied quicker. We crave more fruits and vegetables, and we're just on a path of better nutrition. And I love that because we really have an incredibly fascinating body that wants us to be healthy. So just a quick, I'm just going to run over real quick lifestyle tips for our gut and brain. One is movement. We want to move our body fast and often. We want to sleep and aim for 7 to 9 hours each night. In our diet, we want to avoid excess alcohol and sugar. I know that's hard this time of year, but being aware is the first step. And hearing, if you have any hearing issues, they need to be addressed. That's really important. This is from a study, by the way. Social health, you want to always be including yourself. Make sure you get out, you're among people. Don't isolate. It's not good for our health. We need to stay in community. And for mental health, we want to cultivate a sense of purpose. And if we don't have that, we want to find something that makes us happy and keeps us on task. So stay curious, keep learning. And also, one more thing about our body, if your blood pressure is high, get that under control. That's really important too. So Juice Plus is really about improving gut health and building your immune system. And we really have a wonderful opportunity there to build our gut health. And I want to just close it by saying that, there's three things that we can do from here. We can just being aware is really good. And I hope you enjoyed the sourdough class and learning a little bit about gut health and brain health. But also, if you want to bridge the gap, we have a special offer till December 15th where you can get with a person that shared this replay with you and talk about that. We'd love to have you be part of our community. Community is important. And if you do want to join the community, you can help to pay for product. You can serve other families. We would love to have you take a look at that as well. So I just want to tell you thank you for being part of my gingerbread Santa sourdough workshop. And we'll stop the recording and take any questions.
Oh, I'll stop the recording.
You have to pull this up. Wait, did we not record?
No, it said
Oh,
mine said
okay,
it was
okay,
recording.
good.
Yes.
Thank you.